Hey everybody, you're in Hog Heaven. Hi, I'm your host, Tim Costello, the voice of the AirHogs. What a big show we have for you this week. We got a chance to sit down and talk with Brett Bowden from Printed Threads. Just a great guy, really cool company. And the more you learn about him and his vision, you realize this isn't just something he's building for himself. He's trying to do something for the community, and you can really appreciate that as well. We also had a chance to talk to Tangular Young from America's Swimming Pool here in Arlington. ASP Arlington is the official sponsor of our pool. Takes care of the pool for the Texas AirHogs, and they can take care of your pool as well. If you want to hear about some horror stories on my family's pool growing up, you'll enjoy that segment as well. And finally, we had a chance to talk with one of my favorite AirHogs, Javion Randle, on a phone call. Jay's working hard, getting ready for 2020, and he's working out with someone, you AirHogs fans, you might recognize the name that he says he's working out with here this summer. So stay tuned. Should be a great show. Again, Brett Bowden, Tangular Young, and Javion Randle are the guests this week. You are in Hog Heaven. Hey everybody, welcome back into another exciting segment of your favorite show, Hog Heaven. Hi, Tim Costello, and this week we are joined with a pretty cool guest. If you guys are ever looking for some custom shirts for your organization, your team, chess club, it doesn't matter. The guys over at Printed Threads will take care of you. I've got El Capitan from Printed Threads, Brett Bowden, here with us today. Brett, how we doing?
Great to be here. Yeah, definitely excited to print some shirts for some chess clubs. So I appreciate that shout out.
Yeah, hey, I don't want to discriminate on any shirt buying organizations, right? Checker club, maybe you're not a chess guy. Maybe you're checkers, maybe it's mahjong. You'll take any and every order, right?
Absolutely. We all know that checkers is the true sport.
Yeah, absolutely. It's heart of a champion in there. Tell us a little bit about your organization, though. You started, family business, working in your garage, a lot like Apple, right? And now you guys are on the way up and growing.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a cable guy. Worked my way through college as a cable guy and decided to go get a real job. And I graduated college in 2009. Went to college a little late because I did this whole music thing first, where I decided I was going to try to be in a rock band and make it big, and ended up going back to college, got a degree, graduated in 2009, couldn't find a job, so I was working as a cable guy. I just came home one day and talked to my wife and said, "Hey, this sucks, right? Maybe we could do something different." And so we just made a decision, bought a press, put it in our garage in our house on Red Velvet Road. And the fairy tale just kept going from there. So now we've got this 15,000 square foot space in North Fort Worth, and have almost 30 employees and multi-million-dollar business. So it's been kind of a crazy road ever since then.
It's unbelievably crazy, especially when you start, hey, I don't like what I'm doing. I want to do something I'm interested in. What was it about this industry that made you think this could be the path to happiness or something that you'd enjoy doing?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't know that making t-shirts was certainly making my dreams come true necessarily, but it is really cool to be able to connect with so many people. Obviously, I came from this kind of music world before, and our livelihood was selling t-shirts. Most big bands on the road, they make more money off of selling merchandise than they do off of your ticket sales or whatever. So I already understood it. I understood what it was like to sell t-shirts, and then kind of it became this vessel to connect me to other people. I'm a people person. I love being around people. I love meeting new people. And so just selling t-shirts to people, or maybe you have a clothing line and we can help build your clothing line, or maybe you're a band and we can help your band be successful. Maybe you're a radio station, or maybe you're a sports team We had several years ago, Dallas Mavericks came to us and said, hey, you guys design a lot of really cool stuff for rock bands, and we could use something a little bit different in our portfolio of merchandise. Could you design something for us? So it's been this kind of crazy road of just making cool things happen for other people, and it just happens to be t-shirts are the way we're being connected.
You mentioned something in there that a lot of people, when they need a shirt printed or something like that, you better have what you want all ready to go. Bring me the picture and I'll put it onto a shirt. You mentioned the design aspect of it there, and I'm sure that's something that not every place has. You may have an idea of what you want, but if you're not an artist, I'm sure you guys could kind of take those first couple sketches and bring it and kind of flush it out a little bit more into something a little more creative.
Yeah, we've got a guy, we've got a couple designers on the team, and they're very versatile. So if you own a brewery, a lot of shirts for breweries, like very specific to breweries, but if you own a sports team, sports and athletics merchandise looks a lot different. And so we've got a team of guys that are really versatile, that can kind of make what you think of your brand. If we came and asked you some questions, did a little bit of a discovery mission and said, hey, who are you? What are you like? What are the things that you resonate with? And we can kind of take all of those ideas, put them together, and make a t-shirt design that represents your brand very well.
So one of the things you mentioned was you now get to meet so many different types of people, right? You mentioned you were in the music business. Now you're getting to interact with sports teams. Is there a favorite, realm that you get to go into that the t-shirt world brings you in that maybe you wouldn't have been in otherwise?
I think that nostalgia is big. I came here actually to the AirHogs Stadium a few years ago to have a meeting, and I sat down in a room with Rusty Greer. And as I sat down with him and started talking to him, I just kind of had to stop because I got a little bit of emotional. And I told him, in 1994, I was at the game. I was at the game that Rusty Greer made the crazy diving catch to save the perfect game for Kenny Rogers, and being able to sit down there kind of with a hero of yours from childhood, it just is like kind of brings your whole life together in one moment to say like, wow, I can't believe that t-shirts have brought me to a place where I can connect with like heroes of mine.
So you mentioned you took that time before college to get into music, to really chase your passion. I think I didn't do it before college. I took a little time off in the middle before I finished, but truly understanding what you want to do and why you want to go into school to do something, it's really important. Talk a little bit about that time before you went to school, when you got into your music, and what it did for you down the road as you were maybe a little bit more mature in college than some of those 18-year-olds.
Yeah, I was really lucky. A few of my very close friends and I played music together all through high school, and one of our close friends signed a record deal and was making music that people actually wanted to listen to, and we were able to jump in a van together and travel over the United States, through Canada, and met a lot of other musicians through that. And so probably around 2005, I graduated high school in 2000, and so we kind of played out through this in maybe 5 years. 2005 or 2006, I decided I was gonna do something else. I needed to grow up, and we weren't going to be the Rolling Stones, and I needed to figure out a career for myself. So I went back to school and actually went to the University of Colorado, and while I was there, thought, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? And decided to get a degree in music, which looking back on it, I wish I would have gotten a degree in business maybe, but at the time I thought I would go back into music. And when I graduated from college in 2009, I wanted to be a teacher. And so I decided I was going to go back into this world of education and help other people, and I could teach music, or I got certified to teach math as well. And unfortunately, in 2009, we were in a crazy recession, no one was hiring, and so I had to figure out a different plan. So I was working really hard on my escape route out of being a cable guy, and that's when we did the t-shirt thing. But it's kind of come full circle for me, actually, going to college and learning all these things and learning how to communicate with other people a lot better as a 20, however old I was in college, 27 years old or something when I graduated college, and being able to communicate a little bit better with people, coming out of that, starting this business. And then actually now I do a lot of work in education. So I travel constantly teaching classes on business and small business entrepreneurship. I help people with marketing and learning how to screen print and do all kinds of cool things in our industry to just kind of help the next generation coming up.
You mentioned the help of the next generation. You started out as a small business in your garage. Now you have 30 employees. What does it mean to you to be able to bring 30 people into your organization to say, here's the livelihood for 30 different people when this was a mom and pop shop, less than 15 years ago?
It's super cool. I think that we have worked really hard on developing a culture where people really want to work where we work. We've got a lot of people that kind of resonate with what we do. We get to print shirts for some really cool people, whether it be a big sports team or a big rock band or something like that. When you're making those shirts, you get to be a part of something so much bigger, and that's really fun for them. And then just kind of providing, hey, I want to provide a great life for people. It means a lot to me to watch a bunch of employees leave for lunch, and they all leave together and they go to lunch together, kind of creating this environment where we can work really hard, but we play hard too. I never in a million years imagined that it would be the size that it is today, and it's certainly been a very hard mission to accomplish, and we're still learning every single day. But to be able to provide a great job for a bunch of people, it's pretty life-giving and fulfilling.
Now, before we get you out of here, I'm sure there's people who've been watching this and thinking, that's the guy I want to make my shirt, that's the guy I want to take care of my organization. If someone wanted to reach out, kind of start that preliminary discussion of working with you guys, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, jump on printandthreads.com. You can go fill out a contact form or a quote form, kind of tell us exactly what you're looking for. Give us a call on the phone. You can look us up on your computer phone device that we all have in our pockets now. Give us a call. Talk to us about what you want to do. You want to start a clothing line, or maybe you have a company. Maybe you've made shirts for your company before and they were uncomfortable and people didn't really want to wear them. Let's help you make shirts that people want to wear.
I thought of one more, the family reunion shirt, right? That's a popular shirt. Costello Family Reunion 2020, something like that. So before we get you out of here, I got to know, have you ever shown up at someone's door when you were a cable guy and gone with the full Jim Carrey cable guy at any point?
Never did that, but I've got some crazy stories. One time I was working at a customer's house, spent about 2 hours installing their cable, got all finished. Customer looks at his work order, gets all upset about his bill, and starts screaming at me. And I was like, man, I can't do anything. You're going to have to call Comcast. So he gets on the phone with Comcast, and I'm like, well, I got to go, though, right? And he slammed his front door, locked it, told me to sit down, and I was like, no. And I opened the front door, walked out the front door. He jumped on my back, tried to tackle me. I got him off of me, and I took off running. He had a picket fence around his front yard. So I take off running. I hurdle the picket fence, jump into my truck. He jumps into the passenger side of my truck. That was crazy. Luckily, another cable guy just happened to be driving by at that time. I jumped in his van and called the cops. I was like, this guy's attacking me.
Attempted kidnapping.
Yeah, it was great, yeah. TV is very important to people.
Apparently so, maybe for those cord cutters. You better be careful, but we appreciate you coming in and joining us here. Again, we're looking forward to our partnership here in 2020 and hopefully beyond. We'll take a break right here. We'll be right back on Hog Heaven after this.
Attention AirHogs fans, have you still not gotten your 2020 season pass? Well, why not? For only $150, you get in the gate for all 50 home games, including playoffs. That's just $3 a game. It's affordable fun the whole family can enjoy. For more information on season passes or booking your next group outing, contact Zach or Kelsey at zlee@texasairhogs.com or karmond@texasairhogs.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back into Hog Heaven. Really cool segment coming up here. I know I live in Texas my whole life, and there's that time of the summer where you just can't escape that unbearable heat. The only way to do it is to just jump into that cool, crisp, relaxing swimming pool. And if you own a pool, if you run a pool, I've got someone here with me today who would probably be of interest to you. Tangular Young runs America's Swimming Pool in Arlington. Tangela, welcome into the program.
Thank you so much.
It's absolutely our pleasure. And tell us a little bit about how you got into the swimming pool industry, because it is relaxing for sure for a good 6 months here in Texas.
It is definitely relaxing. Well, it's an interesting story because I was in corporate America for over 20 years, and some things changed in corporate America, and I've always had an interest in entrepreneurship. And in particularly franchising. So worked with some professionals, worked with some brokers, and ASP, or American Swimming Pool Company, was just the way to go. I was very, very impressed with the business model, the leadership team, the support, the training, and what better place, as you mentioned, to own a swimming pool company and help people with their swimming pools here in DFW. So we're really, really excited.
Yeah, you mentioned help people with their swimming pools. What's that process like? You know, it's we owned a pool growing up, but my parents had their own swimming pool maintenance company called my brother and myself.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for them, you know, we were new pool owners at one point, right? We moved from a house that didn't have a pool to a house that did have a pool. I was in charge of taking care of said pool. Didn't realize that in the months you don't swim in the pool, you still got to chlorinate it. Right. So at one point I turned our pool green.
Oh, of course. Always happens.
Parents were not happy. They looked like a swamp. They went out of town for a week and they came back to a swamp in the backyard.
Right.
So for those of us who, you know, that happens, you move into a house with a swimming pool that you didn't have. What's that process like? How do you adapt to being a pool owner?
That's a great question, and one of the things that we really pride ourselves on at ASP of Arlington is doing a proper assessment when we get a call or we make calls to folks that have an interest in our services or just want to know more about their swimming pools. One of the things that we do is to go out, do a full assessment on their pool and their equipment, and then we also educate our customers on swimming pools, because to your point, there are a lot of folks that didn't have a swimming pool before and now they have a pool and they're like, what do I do? And so we give them a pool school. We teach them about maintaining the pool, even though we'll be maintaining it for them. But we want them to know what a pump is, how to cut it on, you know, what type of filter do you have, all of that stuff. And some of the things to not turn your pool green. We want to teach them that as well, because we're in their pool 1 day a week typically. We come out and do weekly maintenance. So those other 6 days, we want our customers to know, or to be savvy enough to know, okay, there's a rainstorm coming, and my pool company doesn't come out until, you know, 3 days down the line. So we want them to know to put shock in it or whatever. We want them to know how to maintain it in our absence. So we do educate our customers as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned how some of that equipment works too. Again, new pool owners, you know, you pull a lever one way, next thing you know, you flood your backyard, your neighbor's backyard, you look over the fence, the dog's all muddy, you have to go apologize. Not saying that happened from personal experience, it was my dad, but, you know, things like that can happen. So to be able to have someone come out and say, don't touch this.
That's right.
That's needed for some of those people.
That's right. And one of the great things about our company is we are a one-stop shop, ASP, of Arlington. We're a one-stop shop. We will come out and maintain or clean your pool. We will service your equipment. It will take care of any repairs that you have, install new pumps, filters, all of that good stuff. And we'll even do renovations. We do renovations. So if you want to replaster your pool, you want to install new tile, you want to do new decking, put in an outdoor kitchen, all of that good stuff, we are capable of doing that at ASP.
And that's really important too, because I go back to the pool we moved into. You know, it was an older house.
Yes.
Pool was probably built in the 70s. At some point, you need to go in and put a new surface in. Number one, technology is different.
That's
you know, there's a much more comfortable surface out there. But number two, it wears off. After use and literally being out in the Texas sun over a period of time,
right.
You take care of your investment.
That's exactly right. So you're right. So the sun coupled with all the chemicals, those plaster jobs, they wear down. So industry standards states that you need a new plaster job every 8 to 10 years at the most. And so we go out and we assess that, and we educate our customers on that type of service as well.
So were you a pool owner before you got into this business, or were you just someone who enjoyed doing local laps at the Y? What was your interest in swimming?
So that's another good question. The most that I knew for the most part was swimming in the pool and laying by the pool. So
sure.
that was my area of expertise in terms of pools. But several years ago, when I engaged in this company, I went to pool school and learned everything that I could learn from the pros at ASP. So, and I continue to learn. We have a great support system. There's several of other ASP franchises in the DFW area. We work with each other, we partner, and so it's just a great business, especially in this area.
You mentioned partnering, and one of the reasons you're on here today is our exciting ability to partner with you guys to take care of our pool.
That's right.
Out there in the outfield, and it's so nice to be able to know that our pool is perfect and ready to go literally every time someone wants to use it. One of the things you mentioned earlier was the chemical you called shock, right? Mm-hmm. It's really interesting. A lot of people may not realize, you don't get in the water for 24 hours after you do stuff like that. At least that's how it was when we were younger. When it comes to those chemicals and things like that, how often do they change? What was done when I was a kid to keep your pool clean? What are they doing now? A lot of people go to salt water. How are those chemicals changing in today's pool world?
Yeah, well, the technology is everlasting changing in anything, right? And the same with the pool industry. So we have chemicals now. So when you were growing up, maybe it was a 24-hour wait. Mm-hmm. Today it could be a 6-hour wait, 8-hour wait. As long as the pool is circulating the way it should be, you're safe to swim in the pool shortly after it's been maintained. Now, of course, that depends on, I guess, the condition of the pool before it was maintained.
Sure.
But if this was just a regular standard maintenance visit, you're fine to swim shortly thereafter. You ask about the salt pools. Yes, a lot of folks are going to salt cell systems, which is great. It's a matter of preference. There's not one that's better than the other. Some folks like the way that the salt feels on their skin. It's smoother, and then you may not use as much chlorine in a salt pool because the salt actually generates chlorine in that system. But there's a lot of customers that still like the contemporary chlorine style pool. So it's a matter of preference for the most part.
So this might be a random question, it might not. In a lot of movies you've seen, someone does something in the pool and then a certain color kind of flows around them to identify them as the perpetrator. Is that a real chemical? If someone pees in your pool, can you put a chemical in to make them feel a little embarrassed about doing it?
You can.
All right.
That does exist.
There we go, people.
But we find that a lot of our commercial clients don't necessarily use that per se.
Oh, I'd like to do that like in a backyard scenario.
In a backyard pool,
someone's peeing in my backyard pool. I want to single them out.
Exactly. No, that is in existence. But again, that's a matter of preference. If
do you get some home people who want that in their pools?
No, not too. No, we don't.
Man.
We don't. You'd be amazed in what the chemicals that are used can kill.
Sure.
So it works pretty darn good. That shock is pretty powerful, which is another word for chlorine. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tangela, we appreciate you coming on. But before we go, I know there are people out there who have swimming pools right now who are thinking, I do not want to lug any more chlorine pucks out to that whatever filter they use. Someone please take care of that for me.
Yes.
What's the best way to get in touch with you if they want you to take over their pool services?
Definitely. You can give us a call at 817-385-9877 or email us at Arlington at asppoolco.com. And also visit our website at asparlington.com.
There we go. And if you're like me and at some point you did turn your pool green, make the call. I could tell you from personal experience, it's a lot more expensive to ungreen your pool than it is to ever keep it from going green. So
that's absolutely
reach
right.
out to ASP as soon as possible, because trust me, you do not want to have a swamp in your backyard. We'll be right back on Hog Heaven after this.
Attention AirHogs fans, have you still not gotten your 2020 season pass? Well, why not? For only $150, you get in the gate for all 50 home games, including playoffs. That's just $3 a game. It's affordable fun the whole family can enjoy. For more information on season passes or booking your next group outing, contact Zach or Kelsey at zlee@texasairhogs.com or karmond@texasairhogs.com. We look forward to seeing you in 2020.
All right. Can I get a grilled chicken club, extra bacon, please? So just regular bacon. Just a grilled chicken sandwich then. Welcome back in on another exciting episode of Hog Heaven. Tim Costello joined with star AirHogs outfielder Javion Randle. Jay, appreciate you joining us here on this Friday.
No problem, man. Anything for you. You're my boy.
I, as always, appreciate that, Javion. What's the off season been like for you, man? It was a long grind of a season. Maybe take a little month or two off. But I know you were back at it working hard pretty soon after the season ended, right?
Yeah, I think I took about a good month, 2 months off, and now I'm back in the gym 4 or 5 times a week in the cages pretty much every day, and just working, man, trying to get ready for the season.
So, Billy and I had a chance to talk the other day. He was on the Hog Heaven episode. You had a little bit different path to this team than some of the other guys here, starting in the Pecos, playing the Pacific Association. What's it been like advancing almost every year that you've been in professional baseball, and what do you see in each individual off season as you get into a higher level league?
It's actually been one of my biggest goals, always keep moving up, never be satisfied. So, being able to go from the bottom of the bottom to now I'm in one of the top 2 leagues in the country. So that's actually been pretty well. But then I think just the difference in working out is just that this off season I knew I was like, yeah, okay, I did pretty well, but I know if I want to be better, I need to train with the best, So now I'm going to an actual sports facility where I'm working out and getting around the guys that are trying to do the same thing as I am, and not just being the best guy always. It's okay to ask for help, And I've actually reached out to former AirHog Dylan Thomas. I know he set some records in this league, so I reached out to him, and we've been hitting together too pretty often, a couple times a week. So. Just never stop learning.
Jay, you actually you didn't realize this. You actually replaced Dylan Thomas on the roster in 2018 when he was picked up. You were the player that we signed to replace Dylan.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Well, what kind of stuff have you guys been working on? Because one of the things that Dylan did so well was his ability to hit with power the other way. As a lefty, it's so hard to hit with power in this ballpark, but his swing was almost tailor-made for it. You hit the ball hard the other way a lot as well. Is that something you guys have been focusing on this offseason?
Yeah, and him just telling me, like, don't overthink certain things and just stay to what's gotten you here, like things that he preaches, like, how to hit, you know what I'm saying? So he's just like simple things like staying down in legs and what you're looking for, and when you're facing this guy, if they're attacking you this way, you got to stay disciplined within your approach and just like more of the mental side of the game, you know what I'm saying? And as well as some physical things. But yeah, like even when we're working, he's always preaching, even if the pitch is inside, just stay up the middle, stay up the field. That way, that your swing is working inside the baseball. So pretty much it. I don't want to give all my secrets. I don't know who's listening to all these things, So.
Well, we're worldwide here on Hog Heaven.
Yeah, man, I need the pitchers to know as little as possible.
So we know Coach Bando, huge on physical fitness, obviously. We saw the regimen he put our catcher, Stephen Javier, on last season. What kind of things are you focusing on to make sure that your body's, primed and ready to go for a long year here this season?
Man, look, the first thing I'm doing when I get in there, I'm taking my shirt off like, yeah, what's up now, coach? That's going to be the first thing I do. But, man, just pretty much just eating right. Like you can do all the workouts or whatever, but if you're not eating right, taking care of yourself, then it's not going to do anything. And so I've actually lost maybe about 7 pounds, and I'm really not even trying. I'm just eating right, just putting on some good muscle, trying to get my body fat percentage down. It was like around 16. I think closer to 10 would be ideal. So, just trying to be in the best physical shape to withstand 100 games. I'm going for 100 this year, by the way, Tim. I'm trying to play all 100. 100 and playoffs.
Hey, I love
man.
it. I went through our schedule when it came out. I had us at 58 wins next year, based on a game-by-game prediction. And if that can come true, I'd be the happiest broadcaster in the league.
How many games did it take this year to make it to the playoffs? Do you know?
58 won the division.
Okay. So 50 between 50 and 58. Yeah, I can see that. Yep. Hogs are making it. I'm calling it now.
I'd love to see it. I think Billy's made some strong moves so far, and as the season gets closer, hopefully he continues to add to that high level of talent we have returning.
Yeah, I actually just reached out to our new catcher. Can't think of his name.
Oh, Correa? Yeah.
I actually reached out to him the other day. We talked it out a little bit. I was just telling him some things or whatever, but he's pretty excited to get down here, and I think that's what you need when you're playing for this team. You have to be excited to come to the park every day, because we're not going to be the best team, but if you compete and keep the games close, then, you never know what can happen.
And you mentioned that excitement coming to the ballpark every day. Like we mentioned earlier, your path here wasn't like everybody else's. You have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder because you want to show everybody else how good you really are. How much do you still just enjoy playing this game, though? Because at the end of the day, this is still pretty fun.
Yeah, man. Anytime you can play a game and get paid to play a game, there's a lot worse things. I could be sitting at a desk for 9 to 5 for the next 40 years, but I think guys don't realize how good they have it. Like coming from the Pecos, I was making $50 a week eating McDonald's and peanut butter and jellies, and now I can actually afford to if I want to go out to eat. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like knowing where I came from and knowing where I'm going. So and playing because nobody wanted me. Like every year it's like, oh yeah, you did well. Okay, go do it again. And so just trying to keep that chip on my shoulder. And I was just actually looking at Lamar Jackson has a saying, nobody cares, work harder. So no one does care, work harder and get to where you want to go.
Absolutely, and you can't think of hard work. The world obviously shocked with this week with the Kobe news, but talk about hard work. That was the guy. Our generation especially. You can't think of hard work in an athlete without thinking of what Kobe Bryant was able to do.
Oh man, yeah, that dude lived in the gym. I heard a story where I think he practiced, went to sleep in the gym, and woke back up at 3 a.m. and practiced again. Man, it's just such a sad story, and it was crazy. I was talking to my coworker yesterday, and I was like, man, in 15 years, I want these kids don't know who Kobe was, because Kobe was our Michael Jordan, So we were, and then I see a little meme all on Instagram. It's like you shooting in the trash can in school, we all scream Kobe, So
absolutely,
that's a sad story, but yeah, he was the hardest working guy all the time, and it showed. 5 rings? It showed.
When you mentioned you're hard working, another thing you do is you work with kids. You work hard with kids. Why is that something that's important to you to do in the off season? Is to make sure that you're getting time with the next generation of baseball players?
Oh man, because I didn't have that. I didn't have that growing up. No one came back to my school, especially it wasn't a baseball school, inner city school. No one came back and said, hey, you can do this, And so that's what I like to do. I like to coach and tell these guys, hey, you can do it. You just got to put the work in and always, what I'm saying? Like if you put the work in, like your parents are already putting you in the position to succeed. You just got to put the work in. So I really enjoy working with kids. When baseball's all said and done, I could definitely see myself doing that. I don't know about at a school, but at the select level, I definitely really that's what I'm looking for. I really appreciate or I really love doing that, So I think I'll always have something to do with some type of youth baseball, And I think they help keep me young. They teach me all the dances, so now I can come teach them to you guys, you know?
So does that mean maybe a possible end of game center field dance from you coming this season when we get started?
Hey man, look, you name it, I'll do it. Whatever you want. No backflips though. I'm not that athletic, man. No backflips. But I definitely got that. Maybe the whoa. I know the kids are real big on the whoa right now. So
The what?
The whoa, man. The whoa. It's kind of like you do your hands in a circular motion and you like pause at the end, you know? I'll teach you. I got you, Tim.
Yeah. I'm going to have to learn that.
Dancing with the Hogs this year. Dancing with the Hogs. I got you.
Hey, we can maybe have a little in-between inning segment. Javion Randle teaching some new dance moves to the stands.
I got you, man.
So, Javion, one of the things in youth baseball, parents want their kids throwing harder, right? That's pretty much what everybody wants. They want their kids to throw hard. They want that scholarship. The human body is not always built that way, though, and there's a lot of people out there who don't exactly teach the best methods to pick up those extra miles per hour. What do you do to combat, some of those parents who may not realize their kid physically isn't ready to start doing some of the things to build up miles per hour yet at this point in their life?
I preach, everyone grows at a different rate, so we actually had a kid, he made Team USA and he was 12, but at 10 years old, we thought that kid was different, and he was a lot taller than those kids. And I come back from playing and he gained another 4 inches. I'm like, okay, well now the ball's come out of his hand a little bit firmer, it's just everybody grows at their own rate. My thing is I rather teach the proper technique and then eventually the height and the pounds catch up to each other, because these kids are going to catch up to each other. It's just a matter of when. But I think we're so stuck with we want everything fast, now. I want it now, rather than playing the long game, because the end goal, like, I don't care to win championships as for 12U baseball. I can care less, We want these kids to make the high school team and hopefully get a scholarship, so now the parents won't have to come out of pocket, or even if they do, just a little bit. Now they can see their sons play on Saturdays and Fridays and Saturdays, But I just try to tell them, be patient. Like, don't worry about the kids getting bigger bats to get hit more home runs. I already take a nice solid swing, have a line drive, and the home runs and doubles will come.
We'll get you out of here on this one. I know you, like me, a pretty big Houston sports fan in general. It's been a rough time to be a fan of Houston sports, and I'm starting to maybe lean towards you're a little bit more correct on the Houston NBA team, the Houston Rockets. It's not exactly going the way that we wanted to this season.
Look, man, I told you. I won't say it on air, but I told you, man, don't put your faith in them, man. They will always let you down. I think they have to – I think some changes are coming soon. They have to change some personnel and just that style of play, man. It doesn't work. You have to practically shoot almost 40% from three for that style of play to work. So, I mean, we have no hope right now. It's been a rough long 2 months. But
hey, I'm holding out hope for that Houston Cougar men's basketball team championship right now.
Man, look, I actually saw them play early in the year, and I don't know if they have the jump shooting to do it, but hopefully a Sweet 16 run. But I actually, granted, with all the news that are going on, like, the Astros have a target on their back, but I think that's the mentality that they have anyway. Like, Braden was kind of a little cocky one, So, like, I think that's going to be a good thing for us. Like play with a chip on our shoulder. Like, no one thinks they can win without the whole sign stealing technology thing. But that's a chat for another day off the air, So
yeah, absolutely. Hey, Javion, we appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule. I know you had a good workout in this morning, and we look forward to seeing you here again patrolling center field shortly.
Oh, man, can't wait to be back. See you soon, Tim.
Attention AirHogs fans, have you still not gotten your 2020 season pass? Well, why not? For only $150, you get in the gate for all 50 home games, including playoffs. That's just $3 a game. It's affordable fun the whole family can enjoy. For more information on season passes or booking your next group outing, contact Zach or Kelsey at zlee@texasairhogs.com or karmond@texasairhogs.com. We look forward to seeing you in 2020.
Wow, what an amazing group of guests we had this week. Again, I want to say a special thank you to Brett Bowden, to Tangular Young, and of course to Javion Randle as well for joining us here on the program. Again, we're so fortunate to have these great partners like we do in the community. Brett supplying all the jobs that he's supplying in that Fort Worth area. Tangila's, when you think about taking care of a swimming pool, you're offering a chance to make memories during the summertime. And of course, Javion, he literally is here helping your family make memories all summer long as a member of the AirHogs. So again, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you're like me and you're starting to be itching for a little bit of baseball, you're in absolute luck. The Rusty Greer Jackie Moore Classic is going to be played at AirHogs Stadium this weekend, February 7th, 8th, and 9th. There'll be 3 games a day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 11 a.m., 2:30 p.m., and 6 o'clock p.m. on Friday and Saturday. Sunday's games will be at 10, 1, and 4. If you're itching for some baseball, come on out, join us. If you can't make it out to the game, but you do want to watch the broadcast, we will be streaming all these games live. Check out the AirHogs YouTube page. Just search Texas AirHogs on YouTube, and Zach Lee and myself will be live streaming all these games. So we are very excited. This first official baseball tournament kicking off baseball season here at AirHogs Stadium. Be sure to tune into the live stream. They're going to be on the YouTube page for the Texas AirHogs. Search Texas AirHogs. Or if you're in the area and you want to come out and watch a little baseball, tickets are just $10 for the whole day. Come on out. Cash at the gate. We'll take care of you. Again, 7th, 8th, and 9th this weekend here at AirHogs Stadium. The Rusty Greer Jackie Moore Classic hosted by Hardin-Simmons University. That's going to be all we have for you on this week's episode of Hog Heaven. Until we see you next week, have a good one.